Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Today I have a battle of the classics. I have a comparison between the Chanel medium large and the jumbo. In this video I will be covering pros, cons, recommendations. I will be doing side-by-side comparisons, mod shots, and I also wanted to do each section back to back because I feel that it makes it a little bit easier. I have tons of notes. I hope that you guys find this video helpful. If you enjoy it, make sure and give it a thumbs up, and without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Before I forget, the measurements on the medium large, they are 10.2 inches in length. It is 6.3 inches in height and approximately 2.8 inches in width. This bag currently comes in at $5,300 here in the States. I also wanted to incorporate the weight just in case. This bag weighs in at 1 pound 5 ounces completely empty. Now when it comes to the strap drop, from the top of the chain to the top of the bag, if you were to double it up, the strap drop is 9 inches. And if you were to single it up from the top of the chain to the top of the bag, it is 16. So I'll put it this way since it makes it a little bit easier, but when I do the side-to-side mod shots, you'll be able to notice the difference on it. So 16 as a single and 9 inches as a double. So there we go. Now as far as the details of this bag, it does have the double CC closure. This is in the black quilted caviar leather with the silver hardware. So there is the front side of it. There is a side view of it on the back side. And then the other side, you can see mine has a little bit of wrinkling, more so on one side than the other. And this is the double flap, so when you open it up, it's a turn lock closure. And inside you have one flap, two flap. And mine says Chanel made in France. And it does have the beautiful burgundy interior. And then that's what you have inside. You have 2 slip pockets and then a little lipstick holder here, one regular compartment, and then you have another slip pocket here. But on this double flap, you do have a little bit of space. Sometimes I don't really use it, to be honest. And then you also have the secret compartment zipper at the very top. Here we go. And then opened up. There you can see it does have wrinkles on the backside, which are perfectly normal. So there is a quick overview of the medium large. As far as measurements on the jumbo, this bag is 11.8 inches in length. It is 7.7 inches in height and approximately 3.9 inches in width. This bag currently comes in at $5,900 here in the States. Now, as far as the weight goes, this bag weighs in at 2 pounds 10 ounces completely empty. Now, as far as the strap drop, if you were to have it doubled up from the top of the chain to the top of the bag, this comes in at 12.5 inches. And if you were to single it up, it comes in at 23 inches from the top of the chain to the top of the bag. And again, it'll be a lot easier to tell when I do the side-to-side comparison mod shots on this. So as far as a quick little tour of this bag, there is the front side. This is also in the black quilted caviar leather, but this is in the gold hardware. So you have the double CC closure on the very front. So the front view of it, there's a side view, there's a back side, the other side view, and then the bottom. I don't think I showed you guys the bottom on the medium large. There we go. Now as far as opening it up, again, the turn lock closure, and inside this is also the double flap. So you have 1 flap, 2 flap, you have the beautiful burgundy interior, and this one says Chanel made in Italy. Same characteristics as the medium large, as you have 2 slip pockets, a lipstick holder, an open compartment, a slip pocket here, and also a little compartment on the back side of the first flap, and also the secret compartment right up here that you can store receipts or anything like that, but to be completely honest, I don't really use it. So there is a quick overview of the jumbo. Both of these bags are available in different leathers, different hardware, and different colors. Now for the pros. Both of these bags definitely share a lot of similar pros, and before I get into those, I wanted to talk about specifically the ones on the medium large. The first one that I would have to say, hands down, is the fact that this bag is so incredibly lightweight. It makes it so easy and so comfortable to use it for either 1 hour, 12 hours, 13 hours plus, what have you. It doesn't dig into your shoulder or anything like that. So the fact that it's comfortable is something that I've always raved about when it comes to the medium large. Another pro that I would have to say, in my opinion, of course everyone might see this a little bit differently, but I feel that this is the perfect size for a daily bag because it's not too big, it's not too small. It ends up fitting just the right amount of essentials that I need for my daily use. So I like the fact that, again, it's not too overwhelming and I'm able to get away with carrying whatever it is that I need for the day. So the pros on this one specifically, how lightweight it is, very, very comfortable, and the fact that I really do enjoy the size. It's not too big and not too small. Now, as far as the jumbo, when it comes to the pros of this bag, I would have to say that the number one, given its size, this bag ends up fitting quite a bit more. So if you're the type of person that needs to carry just a bit more with you on the daily, or you feel more comfortable with more items, then I definitely feel that this is the perfect size of a classic flap. Of course, it's all a matter of personal preference, but just in case you wanted to carry a little bit more, then I think that this one's great. Another pro that I'd have to say is how versatile the chain is. And what I mean by that is you can end up using this bag various ways depending on what it is that you need that day. So you can use it doubled up as a little shoulder bag. You can also single the strap if you are a little bit taller, or if you wanted to just carry it that way, just to kind of, spruce things up a bit. But you can also use this bag as a crossbody because it does have a very generous strap drop, in my opinion. So let's say that you want it to be very hands-free for the day, that you can really get away with doing that with the jumbo versus doing it with the medium large. And I will get into that when I talk about the cons. So the fact that the chain strap or the length of it is very versatile, and you can also get away with fitting a little bit more, I feel are the pros when it comes to the jumbo. Now, as I said before, both of these bags end up sharing similar pros, and those are the fact that they can easily be dressed up or down. Whether you are a casual dresser, whether you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt, it goes great with that, or whether you're wearing a little black dress. I feel that either one of these go perfectly. These are also very easy to transition from day to night, kind of like what I talked about with it being a little bit more casual during the day, and then if you had a date or if you had an event at the evening, then you can just transition very easily with either of these bags. Another pro that I would have to say is that since both of these are double flaps, I tend to prefer double flaps because I feel that they end up holding their shape just a little bit better. I do appreciate the single flaps and how lightweight they are, but these just end up holding their shape a little bit more, and you guys know how I feel about that. So they might add a little bit more weight, but still I don't have to worry about them necessarily caving in too much on the sides. Another pro that I'd have to say, let's be honest, both of these are timeless. Whether you go for the medium large or whether you go for the jumbo, they're not going anywhere, and they go great with any outfit that you're wearing, kind of like what I talked about earlier. Now, both of these end up holding their value very well. I feel that the jumbo ends up holding its resale value just a tad more than the medium large, and that might be just because, again, more people might want to carry a little bit more when it comes to the jumbo, or when it comes to a daily bag, versus having to go a little bit more compact when it comes to the medium large. So they do hold their value very, very, very well. And I also feel that the opening is not fussy at all in comparison to maybe some other designs that the fashion house has. I feel that whether you're at the checkout, where if you're in a crowded area, it's just very easy to just turn that lock, no problem. So the fact that it's not fussy makes it a definite pro for me. Now let's talk about the cons. When it comes to the cons on the medium large, as I discussed earlier, it is definitely the chain length, in the sense that it's not as versatile as the jumbo, because this bag, I personally like to use it on a single chain. I feel that it makes it a little bit easier. It ends up being a little bit more comfortable, although from time to time I will end up doubling it up. But this is definitely not one that you can get away with using crossbody. Of course, it all depends on your body frame. If you end up being a little bit more petite, then you can definitely get away with using it that way. But for example, I am 5'5", and when I go to try to use this bag crossbody, it ends up landing way too high up on my torso, a little too close to my chest, and it ends up being it ends up looking kind of awkward. It looks like I'm almost suffocating the bag, and it makes it somewhat uncomfortable to use it crossbody. So this one definitely is one that you can either, you can hand carry it, you can use it on the crook of your arm, shoulder carry it as a single or as a double. But as far as getting away with using it crossbody, I don't feel it's as friendly that way, I should say. Another con when it comes to this, now even though I feel that this is the perfect daily size, I cannot deny the fact that you do have to go somewhat compact when it comes to the medium large. I'm not talking going super compact as in a Chanel wallet on chain, but still, I feel that you have to be, you really have to think about what it is that you want to carry with you. For example, full-size wallets, You can fit them in here, but they end up taking a little too much space, and therefore you can't really end up maximizing how much you want to carry with you. Same thing goes for larger cosmetic cases. If you go to use those, it ends up taking a lot more space, and sometimes you have to go for a very, very compact wallet or a very, very compact clay or something to that effect in order to fit a few more items inside. So it does take a little bit of having to downsize. Since I have had this bag for a little while now, I've kind of got it down to a science. I know the items that end up fitting in here perfectly, but still, if you are looking at adding this bag to your collection, just keep that in mind that you have to go very compact, somewhat compact, I should say, when it comes to the medium large. Now, as far as the cons when it comes to the jumbo, the first one I would have to say is that it can be quite heavy, and it's all a matter of what it is that you end up carrying with you. But remember, this bag weighs in at 2 pounds 10 ounces when it doesn't have anything inside. So once you start to add in your small leather goods, it can make for a very heavy handbag. And because of that, I feel that I find that the shoulder straps end up digging into my shoulder just a little too close for comfort. I have used this bag, for 8-9 hours, but at that 9th hour, I'm just kind of like, okay, get this bag off of me. And sometimes I can really see the marks on my shoulder. And there have been times that I've carried a little too much. Sometimes I carry a little bit less. But on the days that I have carried a little too much with me, it ends up weighing in at like almost 4 pounds, just to give you an example. So it might not seem like a lot to some of you guys, but after, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, and you constantly have that on your shoulder, it can really, you can really feel that weight after so many hours. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Now, the other con, I don't necessarily consider it a con because it's all a matter of personal preference and whatever it is that makes your heart sing. But I will have to say that if you are a little bit more on the petite side, or if you're a little bit shorter, I find that this bag might be somewhat overwhelming just because of that strap length that I talked about earlier. It might end up being a little too long on your torso. So that's just something I wanted to throw out there. But again, it's all a matter of personal preference. Now for a side-by-side comparison, as I mentioned, both of them are in the black quilted caviar leather. The medium large is in the silver, the jumbo is in the gold hardware. You will definitely notice the difference of that caviar leather, as the medium large seems to be a little bit shinier and the jumbo seems to be a little bit more on the matte side. I've had the medium large for almost 3 years, and I've had the jumbo for close to 4 years. All right, and here they are side by side. As I mentioned, you can really see the difference between the caviar leathers on the medium large and the jumbo. It's a lot shinier than this one is. And you can really see how much taller the jumbo is compared to the medium large. Hopefully it's focusing on the bags and not on my forehead. So there they are side by side. And then let me put them so you can see their sides here. Again, you could really see the difference between how much more you can fit in the jumbo versus the medium large. This one looks tiny in comparison to the jumbo, in my opinion. There we go. And it's getting harder to juggle these two together. And here they are on the back side. I also wanted to show you guys just how generous the strap drop is on the jumbo by putting them side by side and having them at the exact same height. But check it out. So here they are. They're both on my hand this way. And then when I go to hold them up, it's almost like the medium large is the exact length from the top of the bag to the bottom of the bag from the strap drop of the jumbo doubled up. So just to give you an idea as to how generous that strap drop is. That's pretty crazy, I think. Now, as far as what each of them fits, this is just a quick example, and it might end up varying depending upon your collection. So just to give you a little bit more of a visual, here is the medium large, and I usually end up carrying up to 6 small leather goods. Now, the only thing that's missing out of here is my phone, and my phone just usually ends up fitting on the very front, no problem. But as you can see, it's very easy to close. I don't have any lumps and bumps or anything like that. So let me open it up. And in here, as I mentioned, I do carry 6 small leather goods, and they will always vary, especially depending upon my mood. But I have the Louis Vuitton Mini Pochette, the Louis Vuitton Empreinte Clay, the Louis Vuitton 6-ring key holder, the Louis Vuitton round coin purse, the Chanel O-zip coin purse, and the Louis Vuitton Damier Ebene Clay. So there we go. And again, I'm able to fit my phone in here no problem. So I'm able to fit all 6 of these small leather goods. And I also wanted to show you guys what a full-size wallet looks in here. As I had said before, sometimes if you want to maximize your space, you can't really go for the full-size wallet. So I have the Chanel, I think this is called just the large zipped wallet. I don't know, you know Chanel and their names. But just to give you an idea, if you were to use a full-size wallet, it ends up taking up quite a bit of space. So you have to go for more slender, more narrow small leather goods in order to be able to really fit a few more items inside. So there's the full-size wallet. And I also wanted to show you guys my small O case, since this is a little bit larger. This one I usually end up fitting in here. Now, a lot of these small leather goods end up having metal zips on their sides, and I haven't had any issues with them scratching the interior of my leather-lined handbags either. So again, you can see that it takes up quite a bit of space, and this is usually where I'll end up playing Tetris. I end up maximizing my space here by going for the smaller, more compact small leather goods, and it ends up working out very nicely. So there we go. And then just to give you another example of the Toiletry 15 from Louis Vuitton, because it's not, I feel like the small O case ends up being, you have a little bit more play with that one. It has a little bit more give versus the canvas. So there you go. You can see a little bit easier. There we go. So that is the medium large. Now let me show you guys the jumbo, and I already kind of pre-packed them. It makes it very heavy with the items that I have in here. I also have 6 small leather goods. The only thing missing out of here is also my cell phone, which ends up fitting on the very front pocket. And I'll usually end up fitting my sunglass case in here a little bit more because it tends to be a little bit deeper. So it has a little bit more space that I can fit items on top if need be. So in here, I have the Chanel Beauty CC pouch, or the O pouch. I have the small zipped wallet. I believe it's now called the medium zipped wallet, but I will take it out in just a second. The Louis Vuitton Mini Pochette, the Chanel O pouch or O coin purse. I also have the Hermes Calvi and the Chanel 6-ring key holder. So there we go. And it's all a matter of being able to, to kind of maneuver them a little bit to fit just a tad more. You know me, I'm always trying to fit a little bit more in here. So this is the CC pouch that I was talking about that ends up fitting in there. And then of course the small or the medium zip wallet, I believe. I think they just changed the name on it, so don't quote me on it. The Mini Pochette, the Hermes Calvi, and also the Chanel O pouch, O coin pouch. I don't know. I'm so bad today. And then the 6-ring key holder from Chanel. So again, it just is a little bit deeper so you can fit a few more items. And again, I wanted to show you the large zip wallet just in case. This one definitely fits a little bit better and you have a lot more space there. And then let me show you guys the small O case. And I wanted to go for the pops of color so it might be a little bit easier to see it since it does have the darker interior. So there we go. You have a lot more space in there. And then also the Louis Vuitton Toiletry 15. Because last time I did a, like, what fits in what bag, a lot of you guys had asked me to do the Toiletry 15 just in case. So there we go. This one, you definitely have a lot more space. So if you wanted to fit your cosmetics in here, I think that this one is usually the winner between this one and the small O-zip, or the small O case. So there we go. So like I was saying before, I haven't had any issues with any of the metal zips damaging any of the interior of my leather-lined handbags. So hopefully that's able to give you a little bit of an idea of some of the things that you can carry in these bags. Now for my final thoughts when it comes to these two, I think that they're both fantastic and it's all a matter of what it is that you want to add to your collection. I've said it before, I feel that both of these are worlds apart even though they are somewhat similar in the sense that they both have black classic quilted, they're both caviar leather. This one has silver hardware, this one has gold hardware, but still I feel that they add a little bit of variety because the medium large gives me a completely different look than the jumbo does. Now I will have to say that when it comes to the caviar leather, if you want something, if you're looking to get your first first classic flap. If you don't necessarily want to worry about the type of weather that you have, whether you live somewhere that has that you end up experiencing quite a bit of snow or you have a lot of rain, then the caviar leather is definitely something to think about. Even though I am also a huge fan of lambskin leather, I wasn't always, and it's not as delicate as people make it out to be. It's a lot more durable, but still, with that one, you have to be a little bit more worried about water stains and things like that. But I still love how buttery soft the lambskin leather is, and I think it is just awesome, you know. And I would really like to add another lambskin handbag to my collection. But as far as caviar leather goes, it's just very, very carefree. Again, you don't have to think twice about what you're wearing or what you're using it with. Now, as far as color transfer goes, it seems that the lambskin leather is just a little bit more prone to that, especially the lighter colors. So that's just something to also keep in mind. But I still love caviar leather, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, even though I'm a bigger fan of lambskin leather now. And I will have to say that it's funny how things end up working out, because when it came to the jumbo, I thought that this would be the end-all be-all handbag for my Chanel collection. I was crazy about this bag when I did research on it, and I've said it before, it's all a matter of when it comes to actually owning a handbag, how it comes down to be in your own lifestyle. Because I do appreciate the jumbo, and I don't use it as much, even though I'm still crazy about it. I am just crazier about the medium large. As I said before, with how lightweight it is, I find it to be incredibly comfortable, and it ends up fitting my lifestyle perfectly, even more so than the jumbo does. Even though I will never let this bag go, and I do use it from time to time, this one is the one that I just end up using constantly. I always gravitate towards it, and at the end of the year when I do my most used handbags, it seems that this one always ends up coming out on top. So I think that they're both great. Again, it's all a matter of what it is that you want to add to your collection. Now, as far as recommendations go, hopefully throughout the video I've been able to give you a few pointers as to what might end up working out better for you. But as I said, I feel that with the medium large, it's a lot more comfortable. It doesn't dig into your shoulder. You do have to go compact. So if that sounds more like you, then this might be the better option for you. If you end up being a little bit taller, or even if you want to carry a lot more with you, and you're not so worried about as far as the weight goes, then the jumbo might be the better handbag for you. But either one, I highly recommend them. I think that they're fantastic, and they will look great with whatever it is that you're wearing, whether it's casual or whether you're a little bit more dressed up. So those are my recommendations on both of these. I hope that you guys found this video helpful, especially if you're looking to add a classic flap to your collection, whether it's the medium large or whether it's the jumbo. Again, I really hope that this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. I do have a few more comparison videos that I want to do throughout the year, but if there's anything that stands out that you guys want to let me know, please let me know in the comment section down below. So thank you again so much for watching, and as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.